Hey, welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Tech Tuesday on the Educational AD Podcast. We're going to be right back with this week's tech guest, but as always, we're going to give a shout out to all of our sponsors. Now, remember, these are all companies that I used as an athletic director. They're all great companies. You should be using them too. So take 3 minutes, listen to our shout outs, then listen to our Tech Tuesday guest, and then go and visit these sponsors. I'm telling you, you're going to be glad you did. We want to say thanks to our good friends at Hudl for their support. You know, as a football coach, I used Hudl for years. But when I became an athletic director, I made sure that our school was a Hudl school. And our coaches, our student athletes, even our parents just love the platform. Go to Hudl.com, join the 8 million users, and find out all the great things that Hudl can do for you. That's Hudl.com. We also want to say thanks to our friends at Sideline Interactive, indoor score tables and video boards. Go to sidelineinteractive.com. You can schedule a live web demo, see their products in action. Probably one of the best purchases I ever made as an AD. Go to sidelineinteractive.com. Let's say thanks to Gipper. You know, your school, your athletic department is doing great things. You need to share it on social media, and Gipper's going to help you do that. They have the platform, they have the instruction. You really got to check it out. Templates, branding, colors, you name it. Gipper's going to have you up and running in no time. It's professional graphic design made easy. Go to Gipper.com for more information, and don't forget to mention the podcast. We also want to say thank you to Snap Raise. Have you ever spent weeks and weeks with a fundraiser and been disappointed in the results? Well, those days are gone. Go to snapraise.com. We used it at our school and had tremendous success with our teams. You really got to see it to believe it. Check out all their other great features, but if you're looking for a fundraiser, you just found it, and it's Snap Raise. We also want to say thanks to our good friends at Vital Signs Wall of Fame, who are now going by Beacon Creative Wall of Fame. The company's been bringing school legacies to life for the past decade, but now Beacon Creative gives you the opportunity for them to create content that's going to supply compelling stories for your digital platforms. We have a hard time celebrating our athletes. We all wish that we could do it more. Well, the Beacon Creative platform allows you to do that without lifting a finger. To find out how, email John. It's John Townsend, but it's John, John, at beaconwalloffame.com. You're going to be glad you did. We also want to thank our good friends at Hometown. Hometown has been and continues to change the game for schools with their solutions that include things like, well, big surprise, digital ticketing. But how about athletic website construction, fundraising? The list goes on and on. Go to Hometown, whether you're an athletic director, a coach, even a principal. They're going to show you how to save time, how to raise more money, and how to bring your community together. That's hometown.com. We want to thank Ohio University and their online masters in athletic administration. My assistant AD, along with thousands of others, got his master's through the Ohio program, and it was a great experience. Check out Ohio University and their online masters in athletic administration. We want to thank our friends at Home Campus. Home Campus is a platform you're going to use every day, scheduling, rosters, results. Their eligibility and clearance platform alone is a game changer. To find out how, just go to Home Campus. Make sure you mention the podcast. That's homecampus.com. And we'd like to thank Athletic Surveys. If you're not using a survey to take the pulse of your school, you're really missing out. We use surveys for student athletes, for coaches, especially for parents, and the data that came back was incredibly valuable, allowed us to take our program to the next level, and the same thing's going to happen to you. Go to athleticsurveys.com. They're going to create a custom survey that lets you take your program from good to great. athleticsurveys.com. And as always, don't forget to mention the podcast. Hey, welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Tech Tuesday on the Educational AD Podcast. We're staying right here in Florida today. We're going over to the coast, St. Augustine, and we're going to be visiting with Billy Blackmon. Billy is the director of athletics at Tocoi Creek High School. And again, that's in St. Augustine. This Tech Tuesday is featuring one of our great sponsors, Hudl. But before we dive in, Billy Blackmon, welcome to the Educational AD Podcast.
Thanks so much for having me. I'm excited to be here and excited to inform everyone about Tocoi Creek High School.
Well, let's go and start there. We're definitely going to get you on the podcast for a deep dive interview, but just real quickly, what's your background? As I like to say, tell us your life story in 2 minutes and describe a little bit about Tocoi High School. What's the enrollment? What kind of different programs do you offer?
Perfect. So really quick about me, I grew up in Sebastian, Florida, played high school there, had an opportunity to go play college over in Charleston, South Carolina, played at Charleston Southern. After my collegiate career, I played a couple years over in Denmark, played basketball. After that, I was like, well, what's next? Where am I going with my career now that the ball stopped bouncing? I had two sisters who were teachers, and I knew I wanted to coach. So they're like, hey, you should get into teaching. I was like, I'm not really a big teacher. I like coaching, but I don't really want to get into teaching. Here we go, 13 to 14 years later, I'm an AD. So I started as a media paraprofessional, was coaching girls basketball. The next year I had an opportunity to go up to Jacksonville and a small school called Baldwin up in Jacksonville, was the head boys coach there. Had a great year there with that group. And then I got hired in Gainesville, coaching at PK Young. So I spent 5 years at PK Young, got that program back. We lost in the Final Four that year to Masters Academy. After that Final Four year, I had a chance to go out to Texas. My wife's job moved us out to Texas. She's a volleyball coach, so that we moved out to Texas for that. COVID happened. I was like, what's next? One of my best friends is the boys basketball coach here. And he said, you know, it's a brand new school getting ready to open up in St. Johns County, and I'm going to coach boys, and we need a girls coach. And at this time I was coaching boys, and I'm like, I don't know if I wanted to go back to coaching girls at this point. But I said, it's a brand new school. Every program I've taken over, I've always taken over a program and I had a chance to start a program. So that really enticed me or attracted me to come to Tocoi Creek and really start a program and put lay the groundwork for the program. And so that's what brought me here to Tocoi. It was a brand new school just opening in 2021. I came as a girls basketball coach, and I taught PE and did some other things. And then our AD, after 2 years, said, you know what, I got the school started. I'm going to go ahead and retire. Jeff Holland was the AD. He was the long-term AD at St. Augustine High School, and he came over here to open up this school. After 2 years, he said, enough's enough, and let me turn it over. And then I applied for the job, and here I am 3 years later, the AD at Tocoi Creek High School. And a little bit about our school. Our school opened up in 2021. We started with 9th through 11th grade. So the first year we didn't have a graduating class, but we still had to play a varsity schedule. So that was exciting. You know, getting kids, we split from Nice. So a lot of Nice kids, a few Bartram kids came over. So it's building something from scratch. And we started with about 1,600 kids, and now we're at 2,600 kids. Wow. So that's how much our school has grown. We started as a 4A school, and now we're essentially a 7A school here. So we're growing. Our area's growing. Business is booming, so you can say.
Wow, that's great. Thanks so much for sharing. Boy, you were at PK Young. I was the AD at Maclay in Tallahassee, 2015 to 2021. I can't believe our paths didn't cross there. But there's another small world. Well, hey, very cool
we
stuff.
We were actually in a district with Maclay for boys basketball. You guys had a tall kid. I think he committed to Florida State. I can't remember his name off the top of my head, but yeah, it's a small world.
Yeah, now I'm stumbling for that kid's name. He ended up transferring to the Rock, the other basketball factory. I mean, great kid, great family.
Yeah,
but,
yeah.
We hated to see him go. Well, hey, let's. This isn't about me. This is about you. For our listeners, Tocoi Creek, I think, is an example of what's possible when an athletic department is taking a modern approach from the very beginning. Billy talked about how it was a startup school. They are already heavily invested in live streaming. They're doing digital ticketing. They have a revenue machine. I think it could be, and probably is, a model for athletic directors that are looking to make their game day experience smoother, strengthen their community engagement, and continue to fund their programs, make it sustainable instead of every year worrying about, hey, where's this money going to come from? So, Billy, share with our listeners. First question I got for you. What was it like building that operations system at a brand new school? You weren't the AD initially, but you were there at ground level. How did Hudl factor into putting together that foundation?
That's a great question. So the misconception with Hudl, when we first took over here, is that it's a football only platform and only football teams use it. And only football teams, benefit from Hudl. Hudl very quickly has come into the basketball market and in the baseball and softball market now, lacrosse market, soccer market. So that was the biggest challenge for me when I took over as an AD, was getting these other programs to understand that Hudl's not only a football platform, that you can, it's just a cloud-based system where you can store your games and your athletes can have access to all those games. So it really elevated our programs when the coaches started to see the benefit of that, how you can send it, and Hudl's now has Hudl Assist. So you're not sitting there statting the game or breaking down the game. You can send it to them and they can break it down. And the live streaming component where, like I said, we got a lot of families. This area is growing and a lot of people are moving from up north down to this area, and the grandparents might still be up north. And so grandparents can't come to every game, but they can still live stream it and watch the game. So it's really has grown our fan experience, not only here on campus, but also across the nation where grandparents or relatives or aunts and uncles might be somewhere abroad and they can still watch the games.
Yeah, from the coaching standpoint, I'm right there with you. I had used Hudl for years. I was a football coach, and so I knew how it worked and how great it was. But as an athletic director, we had our Hudl reps come in, talk to our coaches, kind of show them how it could work, and then we became a Hudl school, and they just loved it. I always tell this story. I used to love walking through the gym. And I use my volleyball coach as an example, but our boys and girls basketball coaches did the same thing. I'd see them with their cell phone out and their program and the focus camera because they want to record practice and just all sorts of great applications. So you're absolutely right. It's people think it's football or maybe thought it was football, but now they're seeing that can really impact other sports. You talked about the live streaming. Let's go and jump there for a second. How, again, you see it as it happens, but share with our listeners, how has that helped, the live streaming, the highlights, keep families and student athlete or student fans connected?
Cut out on me halfway through your thing there. I think I lost service for a second, but came back. Can you repeat that one more time for me?
No, absolutely. From the streaming, how have you seen that keep your fans, both fans in the stands, as well as, those fans that are watching live streams, connected with your school?
Yes. So not everyone can make every game. Parent might be working. Like I said, grandparents might be out of town or something like that. So we send that link out. We send it to all coaches have that link that they can push out to people as well to watch the games. And it's really changed our fan experience because we don't even use the broadcasting component that goes with it, but our announcing is so loud that it's like they're there in our gym or in our stadium. They can hear our announcer talking, and I get texts and emails all the time saying like, "Oh, the announcers, made a joke here and that was funny," or "That's really great. I'm glad I can hear the follow along with the announcer in the stadium." So the cameras the technology that they use is crazy. How good it is and how it can pick up audio and how it can pick up video. And it really has grown our, like I said, our fan experience, not only here at Tocoi at the home games, but also you can watch it in your living room. You can watch it on your phone. You can watch it, any platform you want to watch it, not being here physically.
Yeah, no, again, it's just such a tremendous service. And, those aunts and uncles and grandparents that might live out of state or another part of the country, they've got a chance to really connect with the school. So thanks for sharing that. Let's go and talk ticketing. Hudl started out as video, the live streaming, progressed from there, but now they're into ticketing. Why did your school decide to go digital? Can you talk our listeners through that process?
Yeah, so I can't take credit for our full digital. That was the AD when he first took over. He said when he first started school, he said we won't take any cash. We're going all digital ticketing. So since the school started, we've never taken cash. We've always been 100% digital. And so when you're in the digital space, you're looking for who has the best deal, who has the best platform, who's user friendly, who has very easy, who makes my job easy. That's what I'm ultimately looking for, right? What platform can make my job easy? And so the state has a contract with GoFan, so we're not going away from GoFan, and I was very clear with Hudl on that. I said, when it comes playoff, when it comes postseason, we have to use GoFan. So the way I laid it out to my coaches in my community was Ticketmaster StubHub. Like, I don't care where you get your ticket from. It's all essentially coming back to the same pot anyways. You know what I mean? So Hudl came in with a great promotion for us, and so we use Hudl for all of our on-site sales. So you can come up now with a credit card or your Apple Pay or whatever, and you can use Hudl at all our gates. That's our point of sale method is Hudl. We also pre-sell Hudl tickets, and we also pre-sell GoFan, but we don't do GoFan at the event. That has to be pre-bought through GoFan, and that has worked out really, really well for us. And we do all of our season tickets as well through Hudl platform. That helped us increase ticket sales. We also use Hudl for school dances and other functions that aren't athletics related that requires ticketing. So that helps us grow that ticket sale numbers. And I think to date, we've sold over 10,000 tickets on Hudl. So with the promotion they're running, it's just money back coming to our school that's been really beneficial to help us with some things here on campus that we're trying to do. When a district builds a school, they give you the basics. They give you a gym. They don't give you the video scoreboard or the nice scores. They don't give you all that kind of stuff. So being a new school, we're trying to grow that our branding across campus, and Hudl definitely is helping us do that.
You brought up a couple cool points there. The revenue for a football game, a basketball game, a soccer game, whether it's digital or cash, that revenue is coming in. But you can also use the Hudl platform, and it sounds like you all do, for dances and school plays. I know some schools use it for to sell their graduation tickets for commencement. And in addition to the actual revenue, you've also earned rebates and money from pay-per-view streaming. Can you talk a little bit about how that has helped impact the program?
Yeah, for sure. Any money coming into our athletic department definitely helps, for sure. And so these different avenues that we can generate funds is great for my budget and great for our school, and essentially great for our athletes. It all comes back to our athletes and what we can provide them, what we can have for them, and all the bells and whistles that we can provide by having the streaming income. And yeah, so streaming has definitely helped. Like I said, it helps with families who are not here can watch the games and things like that. But here on campus, like that income from ticketing and streaming definitely helps us get all the bells and whistles that we need for our athletic department to help with facility upgrades and stuff like that. That directly impacts our student athletes.
I'm sure most of our listeners, they're already using Hudl. They might be using a similar product, but for those ADs that are listening that haven't yet gotten on board, whether it's from streaming or digital ticketing or even with the video analysis, what would you say to those ADs that just haven't made the leap?
What are you waiting on? what are you waiting on? This definitely, like I said, as an AD, we have a million things on our plate, a million things we're trying to juggle. This is something that, and we haven't even gotten to. We face it a lot here. Is the question is, what are you doing for my kids' recruitment? How are you helping my kid be recruited and things like that? And And I can look a parent in the face and say, well, we record every single game, and that your kid has access to that game, and he can watch the game, and he can cut that game up and make highlights and things like that to send to colleges and send to recruiters and help him be seen. So it's just it really simplifies your job as an AD. And it's all streamlined now. The best thing that I like about Hudl ticketing is when my coaches go in and put in their schedule, it automatically populates a ticket link. So all I got to do is go in and say, yep, I approve that event. A ticket link's created. Nothing that I need to input on my part. So like I said, it really makes my job easy when we can do things like, because I want my coaches to focus on coaching, right? I don't want them to worry about, just focus on coaching and put the best product on the floor we can put on the floor. So I can go to them and say, film your games, break your games down. They watch film with their teams. They're getting their athletes better. And so it just makes my job a lot easier. And in turn makes my coach's job a lot easier.
Well, you kind of just answered what was going to be my next question, but I'm going to go ahead and ask it anyway. We've already made it, you've already made it very clear that Tocoi is fully invested in Hudl from a coach's perspective, the video, the analytics, from digital ticketing, from the streaming, and even the pay-per-view. But how is the Hudl team, how are they to work with? How easy was it to onboard the platforms? How well do they communicate with you when or if there's a little hiccup in the system?
Yeah, and I think coaches are such, and I'm a coach at heart, so coaches are such creatures of habit, right? Like I just want to do the same thing and just do it the way I've always been doing it. So that's been the hardest part for me, is getting coaches to break that and say, okay, this is how we're going to do it now, But the Hudl team has been so great and so instrumental in that process, because I got one of them on speed dial. Like, I can call him, he's going to answer the phone, or I'll text him and say, hey, I don't understand this, because like I said, switching from platforms, you're like, well, I really like this feature in this platform, but you guys don't offer that. And he's like, well, we'll get it. We'll figure it out. I'll do it for you. You know what I mean? It's not like, well, they give you the thing and they say, just figure it out on your own. They hold your hand the entire way through it. And I can't say enough things about how nice the Hudl team has been in the transition and helping us and understanding that the state does have a contract with GoFan, and working with me, because they could have easily said, you use us and only us. But they're not like that at all. And they're, like I said, they're very helpful in the transition and helping us with whatever we need help with.
Boy, thanks for sharing that. I can certainly echo that as an AD here in Florida who used Hudl. And our school, my old school, still uses it. You're right. Our state association, the FHSAA, has a partnership with GoFan for the playoffs, and every school uses GoFan for the playoffs. But during the regular season, you can, choose to use your system. And like you, we used Hudl. And typically I would email if there was a hiccup, which was rare. And usually within, I'll go long, 30 minutes. It was much shorter than that. Somebody's already got back to me. Yeah, we looked at the system. It's good to go. The one time I had to make a phone call, it was immediate pickup, maybe 2 rings, and I was talking with somebody who was able to help me immediately. So you're right. The Hudl team is great. Billy, if one of our listeners wanted to reach out, pick your brain a little bit more about how you've incorporated Hudl into your program, or just how you run your program at Tocoi, what's the best way that our listeners can get in touch with Billy Blackmon?
Email is probably the best form of communication for me. I have a complex where I can't go home with email sitting in my inbox. So email is the best way to reach me. That is Billy, Billy, Blackmon, Blackmon, and then it's at stjohns.k12.fl.us. And that St. John's is St. Johns.k12.fl.us. So okay. If you're in Florida, you're familiar with the k12.fl.us.
Well, and for our NIAAA members, Billy's information is also in the NIAAA membership portal. So, reach out, find out how you can start using Hudl like Tocoi High School is using here in Florida. Billy, thanks again for sharing with our listeners. All the best moving forward. Are we going to see you at the NADC in Tampa here next week?
We'll be there next week. Yes, sir. I get in Thursday.
Oh, outstanding. Okay, let's plan on connecting. If nothing else, get a nice photo for social media.
Perfect. Sounds good.
For our listeners, we hope to see you at the NADC in Tampa. And we also want to remind you that we upload the Zoom recordings of all of our interviews to the Educational AD Podcast YouTube channel. We do Tech Tuesday just about every week and just about every day. We try to share stories and best practices from the world of athletics. So please join us again on the next episode of Tech Tuesday on the Educational AD Podcast. And don't forget to reach out to your Hudl rep. Thanks again. We'll see you next time. Well, great stuff. Make sure you check out Billy Blackmon, Tocoi High School. That's in St. Augustine, Florida. Before we go, we want to thank all of our sponsors, including Hudl. You just heard a great Tech Tuesday about Hudl. Go to hudl.com. How about Beacon Creative Wall of Fame? The website's vitalsignswalloffame.com. They're currently getting a Beacon Creative site ready, but check them out. See all the things they can do to help you bring your school's legacy to life. Sideline Interactive, indoor score tables and video boards. Go to sidelineinteractive.com. Home Campus, scheduling, rosters, results, clearances. Go to homecampus.com. Gipper, start sharing your school's social media stories. Kids, coaches, maybe even parents. Go to gipper.com to get started. SnapRaise, if you're looking for a fundraiser, you just found it. Go to snapraise.com. Ohio University on their online masters in athletic administration. Check out Ohio University. Hometown, digital ticketing, website construction. How about fundraising? Check out hometown.com. And athletic surveys. Go to athleticsurveys.com. Let them create a custom survey. It's going to let you take your program from good to great. Thanks again for listening. We'll see you next time on the Educational AD Podcast.